Your receipt is not always finished at checkout. Sometimes it is the first half of getting paid back. Before you cut another grocery item, cancel one more small comfort, or try to squeeze another week out of a tired budget, start here. Pull up the receipts you already paid and check 7 places where money may still be sitting behind a form, a portal, a claim button, or a deadline. The rule for this video is simple. Make 3 piles. Health and care, work and commute, card and warranty. If a receipt fits one of those piles, it gets checked before it gets forgotten. Not because every receipt is magic. Most receipts are just receipts, but some are proof. Proof that you already paid for daycare. Proof that you bought the medicine with your own card. Proof that the package never arrived. Proof that the phone broke inside a benefit window. Proof that work used your internet, your phone, your parking spot, or your tuition payment. That is the relief in this episode. We are not looking for a clever excuse to spend. We are looking for money that may already be attached to something you paid for. One public Reddit post shows the pain of missing the second step. A parent posting as like dangerous 9085 said they had set aside $10,000 in a childcare FSA, started the claims process, missed the reimbursement deadline, and then realized the money had not come back. Treat that as an anecdote, not a national statistic. But the feeling is easy to recognize. The money was not lost at checkout. It was lost later in the boring second step. And that second step is the whole game. A benefit is not really a benefit when the employer offers it. It is not really a benefit when the card advertises it. It is not really a benefit when the warranty sits in a PDF. It becomes real when your receipt, statement, invoice, or proof of payment gets submitted correctly and on time. The question today is not, how do you become more disciplined? The question is simpler, which receipt on your counter can still turn into a claim? People do not usually miss reimbursements because they are stupid. They miss them because payment feels like the finish line. You tap the card. The email arrives, the receipt goes into a drawer. Your brain files the purchase as done. Reimbursement programs do the opposite. They start caring after the payment. They ask for the itemized receipt, the date of service, the statement showing which card was used, the daycare provider details, the warranty document, the repair estimate, the first bill that showed the wrong charge, the claim deadline buried in the plan portal. That is why the receipt matters. It is not sentimental paperwork. It is the bridge between money already spent and money that may come back. The formal phrase is administrative burden, plain English. The benefit has a chore attached. You have to know it exists, find the right form, gather proof, hit the deadline, and follow up when the portal asks for one more thing. Researchers who study benefit take-up point to the same basic blockers. People do not always know what they qualify for. Paperwork costs time, and small errors can stop the money from moving. That applies beyond this episode, but it explains why receipt-based money is so easy to leave behind. The purchase happens in real life. The claim happens later, alone, in a portal. This is not personal financial, tax, or legal advice. Your plan, employer, card, state, and exact facts control what is actually available. The practical move is narrower and safer. Check whether a receipt you already have belongs to a real reimbursement path. Here is the rule for the rest of the video. If you already paid, and someone else offered to cover part of that category, do not try to remember harder. Build a tiny receipt system that catches the second step before the deadline does. Lane 1 is the health receipt pile. This is where money hides because medical spending rarely feels like a reimbursement project. It feels like a copay at the clinic, a pharmacy trip, a dental bill, a box of eligible supplies, an explanation of benefits, or an urgent receipt you shoved into the glove box. If you have a health FSA, an HRA, or a similar employer health reimbursement setup, the question is not only, did I pay? The question is, did I submit the proof? Start with the boring, useful search. In your email, look for pharmacy, dentist, vision, receipt, explanation of benefits, and claim. Then open the benefits portal and look for unsubmitted expenses. rejected claims, run-out dates, and whether your plan allows a carryover or uses a use it or lose it rule. For plan years beginning in 2026, IRS Publication 15B lists a health FSA salary reduction limit of $3,400. That number is not a promise that you personally can claim $3,400. It is the current limit for that category. Your actual claim depends on what you elected, what your plan allows, what you paid, and what documentation you can show. The easiest mistake is paying with a normal card and assuming the chance is gone because you did not use the benefits card at checkout. Sometimes the benefits card is one path. A reimbursement claim may be another path depending on the administrator. You can see the basic workflow in the federal FSA Feds program. Submit eligible out-of-pocket expenses online by app, fax, or mail. Attach receipts or invoices and receive reimbursement. Private employers may use different systems, but the money path is still concrete. Receipt, portal, claim, review, direct deposit. Use this rule. A medical receipt is not dead until you check the plan portal and the deadline. Do not guess from memory. Portals remember better than people. They show whether a claim is pending, denied, missing proof, or never started. And do not turn this into loophole hunting. Eligibility matters. Reimbursement coordination matters. You cannot claim the same expense twice through multiple arrangements. The practical win is not getting creative. It is submitting clean proof you already have for expenses your plan already covers. If you only do one thing from this lane, make a folder called Health Receipts. Drop in every itemized receipt and explanation of benefits, then set one monthly calendar event to submit anything eligible before the run-out window gets close. Lane 2 is dependent care. This is where the Reddit anecdote turns into a practical checklist. A parent can pay for daycare, preschool, summer day camp, or qualifying care so they can work and still miss the money because the claim step never gets finished. The receipt is not always enough by itself. A dependent care claim may need the provider name, provider tax identification number, or social security number when required, dates of care, amount paid, and details about the qualifying person. Some portals are forgiving, some are not. Some employers send reminders, some leave the whole task on the employee. The key point is that the money may have already come out of the paycheck. That is why this feels different from a normal refund. With a dependent care FSA, the household may have elected money to be set aside before taxes, then paid the provider, then still needed to request reimbursement from the account. For 2026, IRS Publication 15B says dependent care assistance can generally be excluded up to $7,500 or $3,750 if married filing separately. That is a tax exclusion rule, not a guarantee that every household gets that exact amount. Plan rules, earned income rules, care type, filing status, deadlines, and tax credit coordination matter. The plain rule: if care made work possible, check whether the receipt needs to become a claim. The audit is fast. Search for daycare, preschool, camp nanny, elder care, dependent care, and provider invoice. Look at the benefit portal for claim deadlines. Check whether your W-2 shows dependent care benefits in the relevant box when tax time arrives. If a claim was denied, read the denial. Sometimes, the missing piece is not the expense. It is the provider detail, date range, or proof format. This lane should feel human because the mistake is human. A tired parent is not missing money because they are careless. They are missing it because family life keeps moving. The kid still needs pickup, work still sends messages, dinner still has to happen. The claim portal waits silently until the deadline turns a small chore into a large regret. So make the fix mechanical. Do not rely on a heroic memory day in April when the care invoice arrives. Save it in a folder named Care Claims. When the payment clears, submit it or calendar it. When the provider changes, store their details once. The less the system depends on memory, the more likely the money comes back. Lane 3 is commute money. This one is easy to ignore because the receipts are small, repetitive, and boring. Parking garage, train pass, bus card, van pool, a lot near the office, a receipt stuffed into the cup holder because you were late. For 2026, IRS Publication 15B lists a monthly exclusion limit of $340 for qualified parking and $340 for transit passes or commuter highway vehicle benefits. Again, that is not a promise that your plan reimburses every receipt. It is the tax limit around the benefit category. The practical question is, what does your employer's commuter plan actually allow after payment? Parking is often the easier place to check. Some plans allow reimbursement from a commuter account when you submit proof for eligible parking. Transit can be different. Some transit systems and plan administrators require restricted cards, passes, or vouchers at the point of purchase instead of later cash reimbursement. If you assume all commute receipts work the same way, you can waste time or miss the right purchase method. So use a split rule. Parking receipt, check the claim path. Transit pass, check the purchase path. That one sentence can save confusion. The receipt stack is not asking whether commuting is expensive. You already know that. It is asking whether your commute benefit is designed for reimbursement, card use, voucher use, or no after-the-fact claim at all. Meet the HR, portal for commuter, parking, transit, van pool, and qualified transportation. Look for monthly election deadlines. Look for whether funds expire when employment ends or whether balances can only be used through the plan's card. If your schedule changed from 5 days in the office to 2, check whether the old election still fits your actual commute. This is not about optimizing every bus ride. It is about not leaving a repeating expense outside a benefit you already have. The useful image is ordinary. A car dashboard, a faded parking receipt, a phone showing a commuter portal, and a calendar reminder before the monthly election window closes. Same commute, less forgotten money. Lane 4 is education assistance and student loan repayment benefits. This is where people often think too big and then do nothing. They hear tuition benefit and imagine a full degree, but the claimable receipt might be smaller. A course invoice, books, fees, certification costs, required materials, or a student loan payment that the employer plan says can qualify. Current IRS education assistance guidance says the first $5,250 can be excluded from wages when provided under a qualifying employer educational assistance program. The important words are employer program. You do not create this benefit by wanting it. Your employer has to offer a qualifying plan, and the plan controls what documents and deadlines matter. The rule: if work says it supports education, do not pay the school or loan servicer and stop there. Check the reimbursement packet. Meet the HR portal for tuition, education assistance, student loan, professional development, certification, books, fees, reimbursement, and Section 127. You do not need to say Section 127 to a friend, but it can be a useful search term in employer documents. The everyday translation is simple: employer education money. The claim packet might ask for proof of payment, course completion, grade, invoice, student loan statement, or manager approval. Some plans reimburse only after completion. Some require approval before enrollment. Some cover job-related training. Some are broader. Do not treat them as the same plan wearing different names. Before you write off a class or loan payment as fully yours, check whether your employer already built a lane for it. This is easy to miss when the benefit is not advertised loudly. A company may have an employee handbook page, a third-party portal, or a reimbursement policy that only appears when you search the exact phrase. The money is not hiding in a dramatic way. It is hiding because the category lives in HR language instead of normal life language. Picture the money path plainly. A paid course invoice on one side, an HR reimbursement form on the other, and a deadline between them. Paid proof becomes a claim only if you move it before the window closes. Lane 5 is the work cost receipt pile. This is where people accidentally donate small pieces of their household to their job. Personal phone, home internet, parking for a work event, required supplies, a professional license, a background check, a uniform, a home office item, a software tool used because the team needed it now. Some of these are reimbursable, some are not. Some are governed by employer policy, some depend on state rules, some are tax questions. And this script is not giving tax or legal advice. The practical move is simpler. Do not assume a work expense is yours until you have searched the policy. Search for phone, cell, internet, remote work, home office, expense reimbursement, stipend, professional development, license, certification, travel, mileage, parking, supplies, wellness, and lifestyle spending account. The last phrase matters because some employers now use broader benefit accounts that reimburse categories people would never search for under older HR language. IRS Publication 15B also discusses employer-provided cell phones when they are provided primarily for non-compensatory business reasons. That is a tax treatment source, not a promise that your phone bill is reimbursable. Keep it in the proof layer, not the promise. Here is the rule. If work required the cost, find the policy before you absorb it. The word required is doing a lot of work. A nicer monitor you wanted may not be a claim. A required tool, approved travel cost, work parking receipt, license renewal, or phone stipend may be different. The goal is not to push fake expense reports through a system. The goal is to stop quietly paying for costs the policy already covers. Timing matters here too. Many employers require approval before the purchase, submission within a certain number of days, or a manager code. A receipt can be perfectly real and still become useless if it arrives after the claim window. Build the habit at the moment the work cost appears. If a manager asks you to buy something, ask where it should be submitted. If a recurring bill is partly work-related, check whether the company has a stipend instead of inventing your own formula. If a policy is unclear, ask payroll or HR in writing. This lane turns a vague resentment, work keeps costing me money, into one concrete action. Find the policy and submit the proof. Lane 6 is card protection. This is not a reason to buy things on a credit card you cannot pay off. Interest can wipe out a benefit very quickly. This lane is for purchases you already made with a card that may include protection, extended warranty, cell phone coverage, or a similar benefit. The object tells you when to check. A phone screen cracks. A new item is stolen. A small appliance dies after the store return window. A warranty is still close enough that the card may extend it. A covered purchase gets damaged inside a filing window. The receipt is only one piece. A typical claim packet may need the itemized receipt, the card statement proving the purchase, the manufacturer's warranty, a repair estimate, photos, and sometimes a police report for theft. The exact requirements depend on the issuer, the card tier, the benefit administrator, exclusions, caps, and deadlines. One issuer example described purchase protection as 120 days and up to $500 per item on that specific page. Do not turn that into a universal rule. Card benefits change. Cards with similar names can have different benefits. The Guide to Benefits controls. Use this rule when something breaks. Do not start with the trash can. Start with the card statement that finds the transaction. Confirm which card paid for it. Search that card's current guide to benefits. Look for purchase protection, extended warranty, cell phone protection, return protection, damage, theft, and claim deadline. If the benefit exists, assemble the proof packet before the window closes. The emotional payoff is not a hack. It is a calmer first response. Instead of, great, now I have to buy another one, the first response becomes, what proof do I have and which card paid? FTC warranty guidance supports the same receipt habit from another angle. Consumers are told to save the product receipt with the warranty because it proves purchase date and original ownership. That does not guarantee a successful claim. It shows why the little receipt matters when a product fails later. So give expensive durable purchases one household system. Take a photo of the receipt. Save a copy of the warranty. Note which card paid. If the item breaks, future you should not have to excavate 3 email accounts while annoyed. Future you should open one folder and see the claim packet almost ready. Lane 7 is the order problem pile. This is for the package that never arrived, the item missing from the box, the unordered product, the duplicate charge, the merchant support chat that went nowhere, or the statement that shows a billing error. This is not a universal refund button. Do not use disputes to avoid legitimate bills. The point is to use the formal path when the receipt, order confirmation, delivery record, and statement show a real problem. FTC consumer guidance says credit card billing errors need to be disputed in writing within 60 days of the first statement containing the error. The exact process matters. The clock matters. The proof matters. The rule is blunt. Support chat is not the same as preserving your dispute window. A support chat can be useful. It may solve the problem. But if the deadline is tied to the statement, a month of polite chat messages can create a bad surprise. The formal path may require written notice, the right address or issuer process, and specific information about the charge. Your proof packet is simple. Order confirmation, receipt, delivery status, photos if relevant, merchant messages, the first statement showing the charge, and a short timeline. What did you order? What did you receive? What did you try? What did the merchant say? When did the statement show the error? Keep it every day. A person opens a delivery box and one item is missing. They do not need a legal lecture. They need to save the order page, screenshot the missing item chat, mark the statement date, and use the issuer's process before the window gets stale. The receipt is not there to make you feel wronged. It is there to make the next action clean. If the merchant fixes it, great. If they do not, your proof is already organized. That is the theme of the episode. Money gets easier when proof is stored before emotions take over. Now turn the 7 lanes into one small ritual. Do not audit your whole financial life. Do not build a perfect folder system. Do not spend a weekend naming every PDF you have ever downloaded. Set a 15-minute timer and look for receipts that fit the 3 piles: health and care, medical receipts, pharmacy receipts, dental and vision bills, explanations of benefits, daycare invoices, camp receipts, elder care receipts, work and commute, parking, transit, mileage, phone, internet, supplies, licenses, certifications, tuition, books, student loan payments, professional development card and warranty, durable purchases, broken items, stolen items, warranty documents, card statements, missing deliveries, billing errors, return problems. For every receipt that looks claimable, write one next action. Submit, ask HR, check guide to benefits, call administrator, save warranty, calendar deadline, or close it because it does not qualify. That last option matters. The goal is not to convince yourself every receipt is money. The goal is to stop letting claimable receipts die in the same drawer as the ordinary ones. This is the useful version of personal finance because it starts with relief. You already did the hard part. You paid the bill, picked up the prescription, drove to work, handled childcare, bought the item, contacted support, or took the class. Now you are checking whether the second step can bring money back. Some viewers will find nothing. That is still useful because the pile gets clean. Some will find a small claim. Some will find a deadline. They are still inside. Some will discover that the real fix is not a single receipt, but a habit. Scan at purchase, label by category, submit monthly, calendar the run-out window. The final rule is simple enough to remember at checkout. If a receipt belongs to health, care, work, commute, card, or order problems, it gets a second look before it gets thrown away. Money does not always come back, but it almost never comes back from a receipt you cannot find, a portal you never opened, or a deadline you never saw. So before you punish yourself for needing to spend less, check whether the money you already spent still has a return path. The receipt may be finished, or it may be waiting for you to put money back in your pocket.